There's been a lot of criticism going around about the new Superman movie and what people have seen from the trailers. And to be fair, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And I know a lot of it is coming from the Snyder Bros, the Snyder cult, the Snyder fan base that refuse to let go of the DCEU and understand that this is a new chapter in DC. The DCEU, all things considered, was a failure. And I love some of those movies, and I love the DCEU, but even I can admit there was a lot of things wrong with it and with the studio. And it was time to move on. It ran out of steam. It ended in a slow, painful crawl to the finish line. But there's one specific criticism that I think is being way overblown. People are exaggerating way too much, calling the film too childish, calling the film too jokey, too hokey, not serious enough, just another MCU film. Here come the MCU jokes. This is just another MCU film that's quippy and jokey from beginning to end. Just another Guardians of the Galaxy. Too campy, for children, not for adults. I've heard so many things from people. They'll look at something like this.
You have a dog?
Or this.
Stop.
What about this?
Hey, loser. You're a loser.
This too.
Hey, quit messing around.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
They watched a handful, and I do mean a handful, of short clips from a few trailers and tried to label this movie jokey, hokey, campy, an MCU joke fest of a film. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? People were really upset about this clip right here.
Hey, quit messing around.
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
They saw this and was like, oh, here go the MCU jokes again. Here come the MCU jokes. This is so cringe. People, what are we doing? God forbid Superman has some kind of personality. God forbid that Superman has a little bit of sense of humor. God forbid that Superman understands sarcasm and has a little bit of a sarcastic personality from time to time, like most of us probably do. God forbid that Superman can have some quippy, fun banter back and forth with his friends or co-workers. God forbid that Superman has some lightheartedness in him. People, what are we doing? I guess all you guys want is this dreadful, boring Superman with no personality that is serious all the goddamn time. You might as well say y'all want a Superman with no personality at all. Monotone, boring, no heart at all. Is that what you want? What do you want Superman to be? Do you want Superman to be more like Batman? Because that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. And quiet as it's kept, even Batman has some sarcasm. Even Batman throws some light jokes around every now and then in a Batman kind of way.
Miss Kyle. So that's what that feels like. Nice coat. Thanks.
You got a lot of cats.
I assume it works off concentration.
How'd you do that?
You weren't concentrating.
Oh, now you want to bark orders? After I did the heavy lifting and pulled everyone together?
You're referring to when you botched my very simple directives and Wonder Woman led the charge?
Cyborg showed you a video.
He emailed it to me.
I really hate you, Bats.
Excuse me.
Even Batman has shown quippiness and jokeful banter. Now, if Batman can do that, why the hell can't Superman? And Batman is probably the most serious of the notable DC characters. Batman is all work, no games. But even he finds times to let go of himself a little bit and embrace the lighter side of his personality. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Do you not understand? People will look at a few lighthearted jokes, a little bit of sarcasm from Superman, and want to label the movie as jokey and campy and an MCU joke fest of a film. Now, you know what that is? That's Thor: Love and Thunder. That was a joke fest. That was a complete, utter catastrophe of a film that didn't take itself serious in any capacity. You're comparing that to this based off a few trailers and a few clips showing Superman's personality and a few clips showing Krypto acting like a playful dog would act. A dog that probably needs a little bit more training. And now you can't take the movie serious at all because the dog's being a dog. Oh, you don't understand. Krypto is highly intelligent. You know, have you ever thought about maybe Krypto has a story arc too that Krypto will go through before all this is all said and done? Have you ever considered that? But have you also ever considered that maybe this is a different vision of a specific character like we have gotten in many movies spanning different characters and comic books? Have you ever considered that either? A different take on a character. This isn't anything new. I loved Man of Steel and I loved Henry Cavill as Superman. But I'd be lying to you if I said I loved that version of Superman's personality as Superman. It was different, and I loved the movie, and I can accept the vision, but was that the Superman that I've always known? Not quite. It's funny because the Snyder Bros will sit here and talk about comic accurate this, comic accurate that, this, that, and the third, to try to tear other versions of Superman down. But what they fail to understand is that the Man of Steel version, Snyder's version, is farther away than most comic versions of Superman than this one seems to be, based on the trailers. James Gunn's Superman falls more in line with what Superman has been historically in its various forms of media. Not Zack Snyder's. And I love Man of Steel. Can the man have personality? Is Superman beyond personality? Is Superman beyond having a little bit of playfulness in him? A little bit of lightheartedness in him? Is Superman beyond having a sense of humor as character traits? Since when? Since Man of Steel? Since Zack Snyder's version? Probably. And I love Man of Steel. But I can accept that's a different version. Do I like everything about it? No. But overall, I love Man of Steel. This criticism is far too much in my opinion. I'm sorry. I find it also funny that people were so on board with the change in tone with Thor Ragnarok and it being a bit more lighthearted and a bit more jokey and a bit more quippy. People loved it. People were okay with that. But not okay with Superman having a little bit of that? And it makes more sense for Superman to have that than Thor. The vibes I'm getting from James Gunn's Superman's personality in the movie tonally reminds me a lot of My Adventures with Superman, which is a television series running on HBO Max right now. And I love that series so far. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's very light-hearted, and Superman's personality is very rich. It's not overbearing, but he has personality. He has a sense of humor, and he's trying to figure his life out. He has friends that he has special relationships with. I'm getting very My Adventures of Superman vibes with James Gunn's Superman. I think there's some parallels there. And I'm happy to see that, because that show's pretty damn good so far. Apparently, Zack Snyder's vision of Superman is the only thing that ever existed and the only thing that ever will exist and ever will be accepted, according to some people. And you're not going to change their mind. Y'all being extra. Y'all being way too extra, some of you. Way too extra. Anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Sound off in the comment section. Thanks for watching, folks.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.